All right, Big Man, today is Friday. It is June 18th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. True Crime Friday. Allie, first one in the new office.
We are in the brand new offices.
Yeah, how do you feel? What do you think?
Such a glow up.
It's a big change up, right?
So big. This is like 10 times the old studio.
I
More
know.
than that, for sure.
You think so?
Well, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking just studio, and I was like, well, it's probably isn't 10, but as far as the whole building, yes.
Like the room we used to record
Yes, correct. And the temperature's a lot better.
Yep, we got air conditioning.
Yeah, we're not sweating.
Mm-hmm.
I know. You were a trooper to be a lady to come in that office.
Well, you guys were in there longer than I was.
I know.
You guys were in there like all day long.
I know.
I was in there for like an hour.
Yeah, true. But still, everyone's like, I don't know how you do it. But no, it's good to have you back. It's like I've been saying all week, Allie, it's ice cream week. So
it is.
We do have an ice cream related topic today.
We do. Mm-hmm. The ice cream killer.
The ice cream killer. So I'm excited to hear about it. And before we get to it, though, I do want to talk about ChevyDriveChicago.com. You obviously go to Michigan a lot. You're from there, right?
I do.
Yes. So you got to drive up there. You got to take that way. Harry, producer Harry over there, intern Harry, I should say. He's a Michigan guy, too. You got to make sure, if you're making your trips back, that your car is all safe and sound. You don't want to be broke down on the side of the highway.
Not that highway.
No, not that highway. You don't want to be broke down. So you want to make sure you're going to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Type it in that area code and going to your local Chevy dealership, because they'll take care of your oil changes. They'll take care of your tires, your brakes, whatever you need. They got you covered. And they have a great deal for you right now. Your local Chevy dealer wants to help you get where you're going with a $300 gas card giveaway this month. That's a lot of gas.
That's a lot of gas.
It's a lot of gas.
Maybe not right now.
Yeah, gas expensive, but everything helps. Everything helps.
That helps a lot.
Yes. So simply head to ChevyDriveChicago.com to enter to win. While you're there, check out all the latest offers, service, tips, and tricks, and find your local Chevy dealer. Head to ChevyDriveChicago.com today. Okay, so the ice cream killer.
The ice cream killer. So, like I said, we went through an ice cream theme this week, and we are headed down to Florida. When I was initially researching this case, it was like the first line I read was like Florida man, and I was like, oh good, we've got one of these cases.
Yeah.
Like the Florida guys. So this case is Michael Keatley, which personally I have never even heard of. I have never heard of any other true crimes covering this case, but it's a kind of like a double whammy with this one. Mm-hmm. So Michael Keatley was a 39-year-old Florida man, and his job was being the ice cream man. So he drove ice cream truck. He drove this purple as purple can be, the entire thing, giant ice cream truck up and down neighborhood streets. You're obviously in Florida, so I would assume you can literally do this all year long. Mm-hmm. So Keatley's main neighborhood was the Southeast Hillsborough County neighborhood. And this case actually starts in January of 2010. And so, January 23rd, 2010 to be exact, Keatley was, doing his thing. He was finishing up his ice cream route for the day. He was actually getting ready to head home to get ready for a date that night. And on his way home, he was flagged down by these pedestrians. And he was like, oh, they must be customers thinking that I'm still on duty, still selling ice cream. And so he pulls over to see, if they, okay, maybe I'll just make one more sale on my way home. Instead of buying ice cream from him, though, he was actually attacked. So two men and two women rushed the ice cream truck, robbed Michael Keatley, and then shot him 4 times and left him for dead. Yeah. Wow. Straight up attacked him.
Just to get the money in the truck and everything?
To get the money in the truck.
So straight up robbery.
Guess how much money they got away with?
$236.
That's a very specific guess.
Yeah.
$12.
Oh no.
All of that for $12 a minute. And granted, I guess an ice cream man would have cash on him, so it probably would be an easy target to rob, but also it's an ice cream truck. You're not going to have thousands of dollars in there, right?
No.
It's an interesting target.
Yeah, but still, at $12, that's 6 SpongeBob bars.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally 6 SpongeBob bars.
That's a bad day.
Yes. So Keatley actually, like, one of the shots had gone through his hand, and another one hit him. I believe it was in the shoulder. So, like, one side of his body was numb, and the other hand was like in shackles because he got shot through it. But he actually survived the attack and was still conscious after being shot 4 times. And so he's like, okay, I need help, obviously. And so he got in the driver's seat and he started driving with, like, his mangled hand because the other side of his body was numb. So he's driving, there's, like, blood everywhere. And he eventually passes this woman who's also, walking along the street, who's actually one of his regulars. And so he, like, stops and tells her, hey, I need help. She obviously is, like, bombarded with this bloody scene, this ice cream man who, like, you think of the ice cream man, he's like,
yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an ice cream man brightens your day.
Yes. You don't expect him to roll up with, like, 4 bullets in himself.
Yeah, not at all.
Terrifying. So, and thank God it wasn't, nothing I saw said that there was, like, children or anything around, but I mean, hopefully there wasn't. But Keatley, was then taken. He survived the attack. He had to go through countless surgeries, years of therapy. I mean, especially, like, through your hand to, like, relearn mobility. And this caused, obviously, permanent damage for Keatley. And Keatley was mad. He was livid. His purpose now of living was to get revenge for the people who attacked him, which is dangerous. And I say revenge, not justice, because the attackers, like, the police couldn't find them and they couldn't bring them to justice. So Keatley was like, all right, I'm going to take this under my own wing and I'm going to get revenge myself. So he starts asking around and, starts saying, hey, do you know these guys? Like, starts talking to people. He's obviously, he knows a lot of people in the community because he drives an ice cream truck all day. So he eventually, through what information he could gather, he found that he was looking for a man that went by the street name of Creeper. He didn't know his real name. And so he's like, I'm going to find Creeper and I'm going to get revenge on him. What doesn't get mentioned in the research is, first of all, it was 4 people that attacked him. And now he's looking for this one guy, whether he was, like, the facilitator, he was the one who shot him. Creeper was, like, his eyes were deadlocked on this Creeper guy.
Maybe it's all he had, too, to
Right.
go off of. So
Right. And so he would continue. So he continued to, drive the ice cream truck around, sell ice cream, but he would try and gather information about where he could find Creeper. And so he's talking to people. He's going through word of mouth. Hey, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy? And, Keatley could not remember everything about the attack. Obviously, you go through that big of a trauma, you're going to black out probably a lot of it. And so he recalls only being attacked by 2 males. So he doesn't even recall that there was 2 women there as well. So to his knowledge, he's looking for 2 guys, this main guy, Creeper, and he is just, this is literally his main focus now. Like, he is not doing anything but trying to find these guys, and this Creeper specifically. Keatley seeks out and he goes and buys an illegal gun. So now he's driving around doing his ice cream thing and he's got a gun on him, an illegal gun. And he decides that he's going to give the attackers, once he finds them, he's going to give them a taste of their own medicine. And this is just, brewing for him. He's got anger. He's, like I said, he had to go through surgeries and therapy, and
he's got thoughts. He's got a plan. He knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, and it was said, like, in the research that I did, they said that, like, he kind of came this, like, full circle and was like, I understand why these, like, vigilantes are so evil, because they have so much, built up bitterness and hatred towards people that hurt them or whatever. He's like, I now understand it because I am now that guy, like, who wants to like avenge my attackers. And with this, he gets the illegal gun. He starts actually, like, target practicing at his house so that he knows how to use it. He's comfortable with it. He's not going to miss these dudes. And eventually he was able to track down Creeper's real name and where he lived. Now, Keatley decided that he was going to kind of try and play it sly. He had uniforms. He had badges. I mean, he was like, okay, what am I going to, like, he rolled up to the house, which is very odd because he rolled up to the house in a t-shirt that said sheriff on the front and security on the back, to which, like, and like he had, when they searched his house, he had uniforms, he had badges, like all this stuff. So he just chose to, I mean, wear this, you know, t-shirt, I guess. But essentially trying to like look official and trying to be like, oh, the authorities are here, so as not to, I guess, throw people off as much, which, you know, I guess could go back or forth too, because people are going to see like sheriff rolling up and be like, oh shoot, I got to get out of here. Or they're going to be like, okay, something's concerned. Like, I need to talk to this person. Yeah. It could go either way. My thoughts with if he was actually rolling up on the people who attacked him, and now he, like, these people are going to see sheriff rolling up, they're probably not going to want anything to do with you.
To be fair, too, if he's rolling up on the people who attacked him, they're going to know who he is.
Probably going to know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the simple fact, like, okay, maybe they thought he died, and, you know, maybe it didn't get picked up even in the press, but you're going to see, I mean, if you're in the community, you're going to see that ice cream truck, and you're like, holy cow, like, I thought, you know, I thought he died. So, you know, you could spot that, unless it's like, oh, he became a security guy, like, after the fact, and this is his new job. Is he not going to notice me? But regardless,
yes, because he was still doing the ice cream thing. Like, that truck was still driving around town. And it's a very noticeable truck. Yeah, I mean, it's this bright purple, ginormous truck. So he rolls up in this like law enforcement t-shirt, and this was actually a few months later. So it took him a few months to figure it out who Creeper was, you know, where he lived, do his target practice, and get the gun, like, to which, I mean, you say, like, a few months, and you say it so casually, but when you actually think about it, like, think you have an argument with a friend, you're mad for what, like, an hour or two, and then you kind of, you know, cool off, you have some time to be like, oh, I was so mad, but, like, I'm not so mad anymore, you know, whatever. Like, this is months down the road, and he's still just as angry. And, like, granted, this is different than just, like, having an argument with somebody.
Yeah, people made an attempt at his life.
Right. But to even, like, be thinking about this and planning this for months that's some built up stuff.
You know what, though? Some of the, I mean, I'll never understand a lot of it, you know, but some of the premeditation that people have definitely premeditated a lot for a lot less.
Yeah.
You know?
My gosh, yeah.
Like, for a way less. So
yeah, it really is just
clearly not saying it's right, but
they have. You're right.
I could at least understand a little bit.
Yes. I mean, it's not to say yes, everything, you know, that we talk about that he does is absolutely wrong, but he has every right to be mad and want to bring these people to justice, you know, to take it into his own hands. He just didn't go about it the right way, but. So this is we're a few months down the road. Keatley rolls up with his, you know, bulletproof t-shirt on, and he sets out for what he thought was Creeper's address. Now, he gets there, and there are some dudes sitting on the porch. They're playing some cards, and he immediately rolls up. You know, he shows them the badge, and he says, hey, is Creeper here? They're like, no, man, you know, we don't know who that is. He doesn't live here, whatever. And he said, he literally says, like, straight out, he's like, I want to kill the people who robbed and attacked me. If law enforcement is rolling up, they're not saying anything like that. Like, they are not straight up saying anything like that. And I mean, at this point, it's too late. I mean, he's already rolled up on them, and he's got them right where he wants them. So he arrives at this address. He's asking for Creeper. No one admitted to being, you know, the culprit of this Creeper guy. This, like, sets Keatley off. He's done so much work these past months to find out, you know, who this guy is, to get his address, to make his plan, to make sure it's executed perfectly. And now they're telling him you got the wrong house. There's no one here by that name. So he just like, I mean, he starts seeing red. He starts yelling at these guys, and he's like, I want proof of ID. I want proof of ID. Like, show me your IDs. And then he starts yelling at him like, get on the ground, and makes them all lay in a line on the ground, face down. Once they're all lying down, he, from right to left, starts to shoot each and every one of them.
Fuck.
Boom, boom, boom. There's 7 of them total.
7 people?
7 people. He gets 6 of the men total were shot. And the 7th one didn't end up getting shot because the 6th person had stood up and fell on top of him. And so he basically saved that guy's life because he was, kind of broke the fall and took any bullets that were kind of in his path. So it literally is just starting to execute these people one by one down this line. 2 of them ended up dying. 4 of them were seriously injured. And this, like I said, the 7th one was saved from being shot and or dying. Now, the 2 men that were killed were brothers. They were Juan and Sergio Gitron, 28 and 22 years old. And these are young kids. Mm-hmm. Now, Richard Cantu, who was 31, Daniel Beltran, who was 24, Raymond Gallen, who was 29, and Gonzalo Guerva, who was 28, were the ones who were shot and survived. Now, on top of not only now shooting 6 people, killing 2 of them, none of these people were Creeper. He legit had the wrong address. So he didn't even check his facts, which is he was seeing red at that point. Because
so he literally did what someone did to him.
Exactly.
Which is horrible.
Exactly. He had no regards for whether that person was Creeper or not. He didn't care. It in his mind it was, and these were the people. These were who were meant to be attacked. And it also turns out Creeper's real name is Omar Balian. Now, Omar, or Creeper, lived 2 houses down. He was off by 2 houses. And it also turns out Creeper was not even the one who did the attack. Once they actually investigated, looked into it, Creeper was not involved in any way. So this just spiraled into something that was a horrible, horrible attack.
Senseless. I mean, this is the definition of senseless.
Could not be more senseless. And I mean, I don't know where Michael Keatley got that it was this Creeper guy, where he got the wrong address from. Obviously, he did not do his due diligence in trying to find out who was even the ones who attacked him in the first place, let alone, Creeper literally had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
He did not need to be the target at any point. And neither did any of these people who got shot by Keatley. And so, like you said, he ended up literally doing the same exact thing that people had did to him months earlier.
That's brutal.
Yeah. So, even just to add the kind of rotten cherry on top, this was on Thanksgiving Day.
So it was all family?
It was all, no, I don't think the guys who were shot, just the 2 brothers.
Yeah.
But they were all hanging out, and it was this is Thanksgiving Day. And this is the day you choose to go over there. 2, you've got the wrong guy. The guy who you're going for is not even the right guy. Nope. I mean, just completely off. So Michael takes off. Police obviously get to the scene. They see this horrific scene. All these people are shot. And police try to track down the man responsible for this massive shooting attack. Now, these guys know what he looks like. He wasn't disguised by any other than, looking like he was in a law enforcement outfit. But police have a hard time getting to him because 2 witnesses of this attack at 2 different times are given a lineup of photos to try and pick out Keatley, and both of them could not pick him out. So not only does this hurt the investigation as far as like they can't get to who this guy is. But also, if you're, you know, later to bring that up in court, it questions the witnesses, you know, credibility. It's like they couldn't pick him out of the lineup the first time. Like, even if they do go back and pick him out a second time, you know, you can still argue against that, you know, between the 2 points on that. So, like, Keatley's defense would be able to argue against that. They couldn't pick him out of a lineup. And it's 2 different witnesses, too. Granted, I mean, witness testimony is not, at any point, witness testimony is never like lock and key reliable. I mean, people interpret things differently, especially like in a traumatic situation like that. You can't always rely on like what people saw or what they think they saw, but still. So it takes multiple tries, and they actually have to use different pictures in a lineup of Keatley for them to be able, for the witnesses to be able to pick him out. But they eventually do. And they say, this is the guy. And the police go then and search his home. And this reveals that he had, like, based on just the pure ballistics of it, he had the same type of ammunition and bullet casings that were found under the body of a victim. So this, you know, directly links him to it. Say these were in your house. That, you know, like I said, he also had the target practicing in his backyard. He had the uniforms, the badges and stuff in his house too. When he did not work in law enforcement, he was an ice cream truck driver. So on top of all of this, it also turns out that a local body shop owner in the area later testified that Keatley had brought his truck in the day after the shooting and asked it to have it painted a new color. So, I mean, between putting the 2 and 2 together, this body shop owner was like, this doesn't seem right to me. Which it was not. He didn't, not the ice cream truck, like his personal truck.
Yeah.
Because he didn't take the ice cream truck to the attack.
Yeah.
And so the body shop owner is like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And he later, you know, he testified during the trial. He came in the very next day to have it painted a new color for, you know, seemingly no specific reason. So eventually we get to December 2010. And Keatley is arrested, and he's charged on 2 counts of first-degree murder and 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder, which, I mean, good on the authorities for being able to follow through with all of those charges and not having to, like, drop it down, you know, because they don't have evidence or something like that. They full on do. This is absolutely the fullest degree of what he should have been charged with. Now, Keatley, like everybody does, pled not guilty and claims to have nothing to do with the shooting of the murders. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have nothing to do with those. I'm an ice cream truck driver. That didn't bode well for him. Keatley's parents actually ended up emptying their entire savings account, retirement savings account of about $200,000 just to pay for his attorney. So now he's, you know, kind of turned the tables on himself. Not only did he not even do what he set out to do, he's hurt all these people, he's ruined his own life, and he's drained his parents' retirement account just to pay for his attorney. And prosecutors actually, gets to trial, prosecutors are pushing for the death penalty. They're like, this guy, we want it to be brought down hard on him. However, you know, lucky for Mr. Keatley, 3 months earlier, a law was passed that in Florida that it was illegal to, essentially, in his case and looking at the semantics of it, it was illegal to execute him. And that had, like I said, that had only been put in to play 3 months earlier. So if this had gone to trial any sooner, he might have gotten the death penalty, and he might not have been, you know, grandfathered into that, which, you know, technically saved his life. Now, Keatley was held in jail for 10 years before his trial. I mean, I know the justice system takes a long time, but 10 years is a really long time. Now, February 6th of 2020, so beginning of last year, Keatley's trial actually began. His trial included, you can see like a breakdown of each day, 8 full days of testimonies from either side, witness testimonies, expert testimonies, whatever it may be, 8 full days of just testimony. That's an insane amount.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was witnesses, it was experts, it was all these different people. February 21st, the jury goes out to deliberate. Now, they were out to deliberate for 7 hours, which blows my mind because, I mean, yes, you're trying to, you're in a whodunit situation, but 7 hours, there was no one else essentially that they were looking at for this. And so he just, they were crossing their T's, dotting all their I's. They were deliberated for 7 hours. They came back deadlocked.
Really?
They couldn't decide. So after 7 hours, they had a deadlocked jury, and it was ruled a mistrial.
Wow.
So he just walked out.
And he's walking today?
No.
Okay.
Keeley was set to be retried in May of 2020, so just a couple months later. And obviously we all know May, this time last year, everybody was in like complete lockdown from big C. Now, this delayed Keeley's trial. This delayed everybody's trial during that time, and Keeley was one of them. So COVID delayed his trial.
So how does it work though? If it's a mistrial, does he walk right there for like? Is he out on bond? Like, is he go back and like? I don't really understand how that works.
To me, from my knowledge, I think, and if any listeners can correct me if I'm wrong, to my knowledge, it depends case by case as far as like, does the courts then like appeal the mistrial right then and there?
It's probably case by case, I'd assume.
Especially if you're dealing with like a violent attacker. Yeah. Like if this is somebody out on, whatever, maybe selling drugs or something, like they might be more inclined to let them out on bond because I think it comes down to being like if they're going to willing to release him on bond and if he can pay the bond as well. So, but his trial actually, so his mistrial was February. The retrial was set for May. So it's not that far off. And then COVID actually delayed it up until August. So August of 2020, Keeley's public defender withdrew himself from the case.
Oh.
He was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out. I mean, personal reasons, whatever. He officially withdrew himself from the case. Now, due to the death penalty being taken off the table, Keeley faces a potential sentence of life in prison without parole. Keeley's retrial is now set for July 12th of this year. And it is expected to last for 4 weeks.
Wow. What are they so hung up on? I don't understand.
Probably my best guess is one, his public defender quit, so now they've got to find a new public defender.
Yeah, but I even wonder in that first thing, or in the first mistrial, like what's
that to me that was like so wild because
I guess maybe there's stuff we don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll be following this more.
I'll be curious to see what comes up in his retrial because nothing that I saw indicated that there was any other suspects besides Keeley. So I think it would come down to proving essentially if this was in fact Keeley or if they, completely have the wrong guy and need to start back from square one and get some other kind of suspect.
Do you believe he's innocent?
No. I mean, he literally sat there and said, I want to kill the people who are responsible for my attack.
Jesus, what a web of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, from what happened to him finding the wrong people, to him doing that to innocent people on fucking Thanksgiving, 10 years in jail, the death penalty thing, still going, COVID, what a web of shit.
Yeah, the messiest, like,
Jeez.
God bless the public defender that decides to take on that case because they've got their work cut out for them, especially being that they're coming into a retrial. So they've got to make sure that everything is lined up. If you're defending Keeley, everything is lined up to,
So damn senseless.
Absolutely senseless. Yeah. And just like a random fun fact that fit in nowhere in this case, September of 2020, Keeley, actually, he's not walking free. He's still in prison.
Okay.
Because September of 2020, Keatley went on a hunger strike in prison because he intentionally missed 2 court dates. They were via Zoom, but refused to participate in his court dates, all because he wanted a piece of fruit.
Really?
So he's a strong-willed guy.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Strong. Yeah, headstrong.
Super headstrong.
Yeah.
I mean, when he wants something, he's going to get it.
Wow. Well, all right. I'll be watching, and since it's ongoing, we should say everything's alleged in this podcast.
It is. Yes.
We don't really know what's going on.
Nope.
We're just reporting what you've said and what you've read. All right, Allie. Thank you. That's the Ice Cream Killer. Thank you, everybody, for listening and participating in Ice Cream Week. That's all we got today. That's all we got for this week. We'll be back on Monday. We'll see you then.